How you doing, folks? Welcome to another farm vlog at Tapping Off Farm. So it's been a wee while since we got a chance to make a farm vlog. We've had a busy last month of veg boxes, my daughter's staying with us, and also I really had to get over my back pain that I had. Really had about a month of incredibly sore back pain, so that took me a while to get over that and get back out working, which is also to get back out filming. So very sorry for the delay in getting out a farm vlog. Hats off to those homesteading parents who managed to hold down a working farm and raise their children and run a YouTube channel, because I certainly found it a lot harder to devote the time whilst looking after the wee one. And during the days when I was stuck inside with this back pain, I got busy making us a Patreon page. If you want to go and check that out, we would really appreciate that. For those of you who want to support us even more than you already do, we'll still always make the YouTube videos. That's not going to change. There'll be outtakes from these farm vlogs. We'll be uploading dedicated how-tos, postcards from the farm. It's just a way of us being able to keep in touch with our supporters even more. And for those of you who would like to be able to support us but can't buy a veg box, it's a great way of doing that. And those of you who are on similar journeys to us but wanting to learn a bit more, I'm sure me and Rosa can help you out by giving you some of our hints and tips, some of our ups and downs, some of the things to do, some of the things to avoid, and you can find all that plus more information over at our Patreon page. So I've just been grabbing some grain from the feed shed. This afternoon, Rosa and I have decided that we're going to do a bit of an animal move. Rosa's just been moving the chickshaw into the next door cell. You can see where they've been over the last few weeks. So they're moving into their third cell now.
I just dragged the chickshaw from the last cell where the chickens were over here and through this gap, and the next job is to get the chickens into the cell. They've kind of half moved over, but they're mainly congregating around James, who's holding a bowl of grain. So we're going to use that grain just to get them in so we can close the cell. Ow! Clearly.
Heck you.
Yeah, like right on the calf.
Stop talking.
Meaty calf.
Give me some food.
I know. Get on with it.
Getting bitten alive by midges.
I know, we're getting bitten by all the animals. And that means that we can close off the cell and I can take down the netting that was around the previous chicken cell, because just back off. Because I'll use that to make a new goat cell in the final of our silvopasture grazing cells. We're just going to put the goats in there for a few days and then we're going to move the geese in there as quickly as possible, because that grass is at a perfect length for the geese right now, really. That's going to be our next stage in a few days. But first one is to just roll up this netting and take it over there. James has already mown down the border, and that just means that we can get the netting really hot, because one of the goats is being a bit cheeky at the moment and escaping a lot. So we've got to actually properly electrify the fences now, which obviously most people would say to do anyway.
Alright, that's us got the goose house moved. As Rosa was saying, we've got Mandy is suddenly starting to test all the fences for some reason. I think she's got through the electric netting one too many times when it hasn't been on. So she now thinks she can get through anything. A lot of these electric nets that you can see are all joined to each other, which makes it a little bit hard for electrifying them all. So we're going to make this a completely closed loop electric cell, so that we can get the goats used to the fencing again, get it as hot as we can. We can't have the goats really coming back to the byre because that would be far too much electric netting to be able to get hot enough for the energizer we've got. So that's why we're hoping that they're going to use the goose house. This goose house started life as a goat house actually, so we'll see how it goes.
That's such a long evolution.
I know. But your fear, Rosa, is that is about the flies, isn't it?
The flies are quite bad at this time of year, although they're getting slightly better now. And they really bother the goats, aside from the fact that goats are not great in the rain, even really strong winds, although we kind of ignore that normally. They often need access to a shelter of sorts. We've tried doing just a kind of rain shelter for them in the field so that we can shut them out in the field. But unfortunately, it still seems that, they get a lot of flies around them, and with most animals, horses and cows and all sorts. I mean, it's a horrible thing to be covered in flies. So I've often made it that they have a laneway back to the byre, which has been fine up until now when Mandy is testing the fencing. And with the fact that we've got all these laneways and we haven't had chance to make as many permanent fences as we'd like, some of them are just either not at all hot or not as hot as they need to be to deter a goat to push through. So the idea would be to make a kind of rain and fly shelter. Then it should be that the goats can stay out whatever the weather. Whether they'll use it, I don't know. Maybe I just need to be harsh and wait till they do rather than them just expecting I'll always come and save them. So we'll try this. The best thing about this, it won't blow away. It's very heavy, which is one of its downsides, but previous shelters have actually blown away. So this one won't blow away, and hopefully not too many flies will go into the back there where it's a bit waterproof as well, where it's covered in the tarp. Ideally, we want to be able to, just like with the chickens and the geese, shut the goats in a cell, because not only will that ensure that they graze and therefore, eat as much as possible rather than me having to bring various vegetation from around the farm all the time, it will really help with our succession of grazing, because at the moment the goats really aren't pulling their weight. Although there's only 2 of them. Yeah. Watch this space.
There are only 2, and one of them is very old.
Yeah.
P and Matt, so it's really just Mandy does the main grazing.
Yeah.
But Rosa's just been having a chat with a local goat farm nearby who we might be able to buy a couple of goats from. Alright, so where Rosa is standing, you can see I cut this about a week ago with the BCS, just preempting the fact that we were going to put up some electric netting here. So we got to get rid of the grasses so that they don't short out the fencing. So that's ready for that, and it goes all the way around this cell. Down the side of this hybrid poplar that I was talking about a few vlogs back.
I'll just start rolling the fence while you're chatting.
Oh yeah.
You might have noticed that I'm a roller of fences rather than a folder. A few people have commented on this, sometimes just making a very kind suggestion that it would be a lot quicker to kind of gather the fence as I walk and fold it, which I often do with the sheep netting, which is about this height on the poultry netting and much wider gaps, and that's really much lighter. This stuff is very heavy, and although I'd like to think I'm reasonably strong, I do actually find it very difficult to carry it in one arm while I'm folding with the other arm. The other reason I don't fold is because when folding, unless I was holding it really high, I'm a little short. And so unless I hold it above my head, there's the kind of folds of fencing dragging along the ground, which would be fine if we had perfectly very, golf course grass and no tree guards and no stakes and no hills and tufts and spikes and trees and everything that the fencing gets caught up on. I find the roll just is worth the extra time because I can carry it easily. I'm often walking a reasonable distance with the net. So for me, it just works better. I have tried both ways. Maybe it would be better if I practiced at the folding way, but personally for me, this is the way I do it. If you find folding it hard, you might want to try rolling it, but netting is just always difficult to work with and will always annoy you in some form while you're working with it because it's very easy to get tangled. There's spikes on the bottom and it's a net. It catches things, so including your feet, so watch out.
So we haven't quite got enough length of netting. We've got a bit of a gap here, just in this bit I'm coming up to, between the green here and the black. So I'm just going to give this a bit of a yank, see if it'll meet. I think we're pretty much, yeah, we're there. So we just had to move the goose house up a bit because we haven't got quite enough length of netting to do this cell size that we were hoping to. So we're just shunting everything up a bit. Getting the shears.
Getting the shears.
Rosa's getting the shears.
Getting the shears to just cut down some of the longer grass because we've had to make a kind of odd diagonal bit to make the fencing work on this funny shaped cell. So that would just be to stop the the net from shorting. And we need the battery to make sure that the fence is hot. So James is going to get that. I'm going to get the shears. I'm going to get some corner posts.
Yep.
I'm going to get a snack.
Who knows what a battery is? I'm sure if you're from Scotland and especially from Aberdeenshire, you'll know. Look it up. Croissant of the northeast, I think of them like.
Croissant of the northeast.
I just said that.
Oh.
Yeah. We're so boring with our jokes. I realised it was a battery I was after. Got confused there. So yeah. The geese are really enjoying the grass at the moment, it seems. Just slowly wandering around, nibbling the seed heads that are on the grasses. Also enjoying any of the more lower, fresh blades of grass. And the chickens are really enjoying scratching through the goose manure in the next door cell. Spreading that around for us nicely, breaking up any compacted areas of goose manure which comes from the geese overnighting in a corner of the grazing cell. And the chick show has been working really well. We've had no problems with the crows again, like we did a month or so ago when the geese were in Goosewood. Might have a problem.
Oh, it's happened a few times.
Really?
Yeah. We can just... Oh, it's touching the metal. Tomorrow we can use the spanner and pliers and stuff.
Right.
Right, what?
Oh, I'll get the other one. Right, there's a problem with the battery, which we didn't know about. Looks like we need to do a bit of a fix-up job on the connection between the energizer. It's the earthing clamp has come off, so we need to fix that up. But we've got a solar battery and energizer that Rose is just going to go and get from the buyer. Obviously it's been inside for a while, so it might not have a full enough charge, but we'll get that in place. We've got batteries, we've got the 12-volt batteries charging. We'll go and see if we can fix this or sort something out. But anyway, a bit typical. We'll get the solar energizer and battery out. Hopefully that's got some charge, but if not, we'll get this all attached tomorrow.
Praying that this cell keeps Mandy in, because I'm not sure what we're going to do if it doesn't. Yeah, I think we're going to wait around and test the fence. So I think we're really finding that by having maybe been a bit lazy with the fencing and really taking for granted the fact that the goats haven't really misbehaved or tested it very much, it's meant that unfortunately Mandy's had the opportunity to learn that she can push through these fences. So we're having to kind of do extra work now to make up for our laziness in the first place. So recommend making sure your fences are always hot so your animals don't ever get used to them. Yeah, this is me kicking myself a little bit for not spending more time making sure the fences were hot. I must say a lot of it's to do with the fact that we don't have much permanent fencing on the farm at all. And the fact that we can't shut the goats out in a cell, so it becomes a maze of laneways and they become almost impossible to maintain in terms of keeping the grass short enough for the netting, and making sure that we've got enough energy, as in electricity, to power all of those different electric nets and make sure they're all connected properly. So it's really worth bearing in mind when you're designing a kind of fencing and laneway system. I think when James had the cows it was a lot easier because you could just use 2 strands of wire. The goats aren't so easy like that. I'll go and get the goats now.
Her here willingly.
Right, that's great. Great to be able to get the goats into a new grazing cell this evening. We've both been in the grazing cell with the goats, enjoying seeing them grazing on the fresh grass. That's always a joy to see. And also great to see the geese and the hens side by side, our 3 animals here on the farm, all doing their work for us. Little girls. Yeah, really great to get them in, isn't it?
Yes.
As always.
Yeah. No, I think this, you know, the length of grass and other vegetation in the cell is kind of perfect for the goats right now. It's kind of ideally exactly how we'd have each cell as we brought them in, isn't it? So I'm pretty optimistic that over time we can get them all like
Get
this.
there, yeah.
Oh.
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 Hello, Mandy. Hello.
She's sorry about breaking out so much.
Oh yes, very nice. Oh yeah. Oh.
Oh, that's a good beard.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the eyes roll back in her head a bit there. Oh, lip sync. Random.
You don't do that.
I don't do that when I
To
kiss
me.
you.
Yeah. Anyway, good to see that Mandy is learning to respect the fence again.
Yeah, we obviously don't want her to be in any pain, and the thing is that the idea is that it only has to happen once or twice, and then she's not going to get shocked again. So it's just about learning her lesson.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was good to have that happen.
Great, so I think we're going to call it a day. We're going to go and get a beer.
Yeah.
Have something to eat. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you'd enjoyed that. Thanks to you, our YouTube subscribers. Thanks again to our Patreon members. Your names should be at the end of this vlog as thanks for helping us produce these. Shame we can't give goat cuddles as our Patreon benefits.
I know. They are very soothing.
Alright guys, hope you're all well out there, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye!
See ya!
Behind the scenes. Our main predator.
Punch, yeah.